Hi, so let's get back to JavaScript part 2. So we have came with our JavaScript advanced concept and some of the concept I have left in the previous classes. So today we are going to check that, and plus we are going to check with further session like Node.js and all and MongoDB and further the classes. Okay, so we have a new syllabus with us. So it's a JavaScript advanced. So last course part one we have left with all of these things, and same way proceeding by this Node.js we want to go. So we'll go with this. Okay. So these are all the things we are going to start with. So let's start with the callback today. So callback. So this is one very good functions in JavaScript and very powerful functions in JavaScript. Okay, callback functions. So basically, callback functions is name itself. It suggests call back means you have to call in back. Okay, like that you have to understand. Call in the back means call in the back means what? Like call the things in absence of you. Okay, means the things which you are not bothering and then sudden someone told you something. That is callback. You can think as of it. Okay, that is basically in the simple manner. Okay, callback. So always it should get call in like what to tell, like in presence or in notification of you. Okay, so that is called as callback function. So let's suppose, so there are lots of scenario we will go through in this today's session. Okay, lots of scenario we'll go through and we'll try to understand properly what exactly callback and how it is helping in JavaScript. Okay, and what and all the things are there. Okay, which what are the advantage of using callback and disadvantage also of using callback. So all those things will get to know. Okay, so generally, so let's talk about general. So let's suppose you, in JavaScript, most of the time what you do, you create a function, you pass a data to that function, right? Normally you pass a data to that function. So the data will be, generally you have seen the data will be either number or object or what is that, string. So this type of data generally you will pass to the function, right? This type of data generally you will pass to the functions. Like I mean to say this. So let's suppose you will create one function. So I'll just do some zoom more. So you will create one function, let's suppose a fun1, and which takes a argument, right? So arg, and then it just try to print. Okay, you just try to print that argument received and just args, right? So just taking the argument and just printing it, right? So sorry, taking the parameter and just printing. So let's call this function. So while calling these functions, what you will do? You'll just pass one data like 34 also you can pass, right? So 34, when you call this function, you'll pass this data. So this data is generally a either number we are passing, right? Either number or boolean or string, right? Or object or array, right? So all these type of we have passed till this time, like till this level of the course, we have used these many kinds of datas to operate in our functions or in our any topics which we have learned in the JavaScript, right? So every time we have passed all these things. Okay, so these are generally the things we will be doing, right? So if I execute this, it just says 34. So it's printing the whatever we pass to this function, it just says 34. Okay, but now callback function is a function which not takes number as a argument, not takes boolean as a argument, string as a argument, object as a argument, array as a argument, but it takes another functions as a argument. Means I mean to say you have one more function. Let's suppose I'm creating here function fun call, something like that. I'll just created that function, right? So this function just does something like just I'm writing the log, right? I'm just writing call function, something like that. Okay. So now instead of passing 34 as an argument to function 1, we are passing this function. So generally, what is the name of the function? So name of the function is fun call. So directly instead of passing the number, we are passing fun call. Okay, we are passing the fun call. So basically now this is not a number, this is not a boolean, this is not a string, this is not an object, this is not an array, right? This is itself a function. So function passing as an argument to another function is called callback function. Okay, so what we'll tell, function passing to another function as argument is called callback function. This you have to understand now. Okay, so always callback functions will tell another function as argument. Till now you were passing number as argument, boolean as argument, string, object, array, but now we are passing another function only as argument to it. So here now you say, now just we are not calling this function. Calling function means just we are writing like this. This is calling the function call. That we are not doing. We are passing this entire function, means from here to here we are entirely passing to this function one. So now once you print this, now you will get function call. See, you will get function call, means it's like this function, the function call entirely we are passing to function one, right? Entirely we are passing to function one. So that is called callback function. Okay, I know, I can understand, still you want able to understand like what exactly, why we are doing this, what we are doing this, but slowly in the further time we'll understand what exactly the use of this. Okay, so let's get back to this one. So that is small example I gave you, that callback function, right? So let's try to understand with this. Okay, so here also same I have displayed, like see function one desp data. So I'm just passing function 2 is there, right? So function 2 is there, so I'm passing function 1 in function 2, right? Function 2 I'm passing as a argument to function 1, right? So these all things are happening. So what is desp and all, I'll explain it properly. Okay, so just understand. So basically what callback function is, one function passed as an argument to another function is called callback function. Okay, fine, that is one called as callback function. So anyone asks you what is callback function, so just you have to tell callback function is a function that is passed an argument to the another function. Okay, so when this function will get execute, when this function will get execute, and when this function will get execute, so that we have to check in the further time. Okay, how the both function is getting executed. Okay, whether this function is getting executed first and then this function is getting executed, or this function is executed first and this function is executed next. So how is the order of execution of these two functions? So we have to check in the further time. Okay, so that we'll check later. Okay, so why this callback function is required? So callback function is required for all these three scenarios. Like let's suppose you have to you have one file, like text file you have created in your system, and then you have to read that file, you have to write that file. So in that case you need callback function. So I'll tell you how it is need. So all the things, implementation operations we'll see in the next time, right? So this is for reading file. You have to understand, okay, the use of callback function is to reading and writing to the file. Same way network request, like see client is there, server is there, right? We have already discussed previously, one client will be there, one server will be there. So client will talk to server, server will talk to client based on data. Like client wants data from the server, so client talks to server. So server wants to send data back to the client, so that is also one talk between server and client. So that case scenario also we can use callback function. Okay, another one is database interaction. So let's suppose if you want to do interaction with the database, like you want to store something to the database, or you want to get out of the data from the database. So in that scenario also we are going to use callback function. Okay, so in all these three scenario we are going to use callback function, and we understood now the callback function is nothing but it's a function passing argument to the another function, that is callback function. So we are going to check further so many things regarding this callback function. Okay, but before understanding this callback function, I want to explain one more function called set timeout function. So this is a inbuilt JavaScript function. It belongs to the window object. So that window object, nothing, it's like a window of your browser. Okay. So it's a global functions, right? So set timeout functions we are going to check. So what is set timeout functions? The name suggests set time out. So once timeout, do something. Okay. So this set timeout function suggests create some delay till now. So let's suppose here I'll give example for set timeout. Okay, so let's suppose you have the scenario. Okay, let's suppose there is one console log which is printing hello world. Okay, console.log hello world, it's printing, right? So I'll just clear it. So once I execute this file index.js, immediately it's printing, right? Immediately it's printing. So there is a scenario called I want to print this hello world with some interval of time later, in some gap. Like let's suppose I want to print this hello world not immediately while executing this file, but after some time, like after 2 seconds or after 3 seconds or after 4 seconds or after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I want to print this even though I'm executing this file. So once executing this files, everything will start execution, right? But I don't want to execute this line. This line should be executed only after the delay, after some delay time, right? So how you will set alarm in your phone? Like you will set alarm for, let's suppose tomorrow morning. So that alarm will not ring till tomorrow morning, it won't ring. Once the time will come tomorrow morning at exactly 6 p.m., it will start ringing, right? So that is kind of the delay it starts with. Okay, so this is same way we want to print this console.log not immediately but after some times. So to do that, to make this console.log happens, executes after some time, we have to enclose this with one function. Okay, so with one function. So let's suppose I'm just making that function, writing the function name as delay execute, something like that. I'm just making the function. So actually I'm printing this, I'm including this console.log, I'm placing inside this function. Okay, that is first step I'm doing. Okay, first step. Now this function, if I'll execute this function now, okay, if I'll execute this, call this function now, let's call this function now. Okay, even though if I'll call this function, this do the same thing, it will immediately it will execute, right? Because we are calling it, it's executing immediately, right? So this is also not a solution for us, because we want the solution like we want to print this hello world after some interval of time. So for that first step we have done, we have enclosed this console.log inside one function. Easy process. Okay, again that function I'm calling, nothing is happening, right? It's still it's execute the immediately, but I want to get this function execute after some time. So what I am doing, I am taking the help of set timeout function. Okay, taking the help of set timeout function. So set timeout function takes two argument. Okay, takes two argument. First argument is function. Okay, first argument is function, means I'm writing here set or set timeout, and I'm passing this function, because this function only I have to execute after some interval of time, right? So I'm just passing first argument as function. Second argument I'm passing delay in thousand, which denotes time in seconds. So if I'll do 1000, that means 1 second. If I'll do 2000, that means 2 seconds. It's like a millisecond representation. Okay, so 1000 means 1 second waiting, 2000 means 2 seconds waiting. Okay, so this waiting only will denotes like, okay, it has, this function has to execute after this much interval of time, means after passing this much time, then only this function will get executed. That is the same motto we want, right? We want this function to execute after 3 seconds. So for that, what I will do, I will do set timeout, direct we can call this, okay? Set timeout with T's caps, okay? Set timeout, I'll pass this. then already we know we have two argument, right? First argument is function itself. So which function? So delay execute. So I'll just do delay execute. That's it. Okay, passing the function, not calling that function. Calling function means we have to pass like this way, right? But we are not calling the function. We are just passing the function name. So this function I'm passing the to another function, set timeout. Okay, and then we are want to give that what interval of time you want to print this function. We want to execute this function in which interval of like at how much time later you want to execute this. So the time duration I'm giving as 2 seconds, let's suppose. So I'm just passing 2000. Okay, passing 2000. Now, if you call this function, it will execute immediately. But now what happens? This function now will not call immediately because this function I'm including in other function, right? Set timeout. So what this set timeout does? Set timeout will wait for 2 seconds and then it will execute these functions. Okay. Now if I try to execute this, now if see, now 1, 2, execute. Got it? So what is happening here? So it's executing this function not immediately, but after 2 seconds. If you want to execute this after 3 seconds, then just pass 3000. Now again we'll execute this file. It will wait for 1, 2, 3, execute. See. So it's executing after 3 seconds. So any function, if you want to execute or if you want to implement, if you want to execute it in some interval after some time, or you want to give some time like, okay, this time it has to execute, that scenario, it will that time you can use set timeout functions. Understood about set timeout function? Pawan? Amar? Any doubt? Understood properly? Understood properly? No, no. 3 minutes and 30,000. Why you have to go 3 minutes? 3 seconds only, let it be. Okay, calculate like based on milliseconds. Basically, it is in milliseconds. Okay, so 3000 milliseconds it is. So it's a 3 seconds. Okay, so if you want to go minute and all, then calculate and based on that you do. Okay, but you understood basically if any code, if you want to execute after some time gap, then just pass them as a one function first, and that function pass them to set timeout. Okay, got it? Set timeout. Okay, so this is set timeout function. So why this set timeout I'm teaching you? There will be some case, right? Set timeout. There will be something, so that I'm teaching you set timeout. Why I'm making? Because see, whenever client talks to the server, okay, whenever client talks to the server, it's not like immediate talk. Because if client want to talk to server, no, first client has to create a connection to the server. Then client has to send the request to the server. Then client has to say, after client sending the request, then server will accept that. If server knows that client, or if server really want to respond to that client, then server will take the request. Then server will do the process of that request. After processing, server will send back to the client. So in this all scenario, all things happening, it takes lots of time, right? It's not like immediate effect. So because of that, we want to, so anything's happen in the server, like we want to talk to server, it needs some time. Okay, so that is the reason those all times we want to implement locally. So that is set timeout. Means in set timeout, what we are proving here, like, okay, some operation, like let's suppose delay execute is nothing but it's a calling some server data. Let's suppose requesting to server, something like that is there, this delay. This is inside server. So that's why we are setting set timeout. Okay, because this takes lots of time. So if this takes lots of time, then I have to wait here, right? I have to wait some time, correct? So if I have to wait some time means I have to provide, I have to execute only after some time, right? So that type of scenario we are going equal similar to server. We are trying to create here set time. Okay, so that we are creating some delay. Why we are getting delay means we are thinking like, okay, server also will take this time, this much time of delay, like that. So it's like a equivalent to calling server time we are making locally. Okay, so we'll discuss regarding this further. Okay, in set timeout why we are using. Okay, so let's get back to this. So I was just talking about set timeout, right? So set timeout, you understood now. it takes one function as an argument and it takes the delay in milliseconds, right? 3000. So anything if you want to implement or if you want to execute after some time gap, then you can use set timeout. So other functions are also there, set interval. Now see, there is one more function called set interval. Set timeout is nothing but it's executing only once, right? After 3 seconds is executing, right? After 3 seconds is executing and program is getting a stop there, right? But let's suppose if I want to execute this, every 3 seconds, not like 3 seconds, but every 3 seconds it should execute. Okay, so that case what I'll do, I'll just use set interval of how much seconds this should execute again and again. Okay, now see, now what happens here. After every 3 seconds, it will execute. See, after every 3 seconds, it will execute. Program didn't get a stop. So this is interval. Interval means it will execute every 3 seconds. It won't stop in one first like execution. Okay, so this is set interval. So we have to write some clear interval to make it stop. Okay, so that will not the part of this course. Okay, so that is one set interval, that is one set timeout. Okay, so understood? Set timeout. Okay, set timeout. Okay, so anything you want to execute, we'll execute from this one. Okay, now set timeout we understood. Passing the function to one other function we understood. Okay, so let's go for one more major implementation is synchronous. It's a good topic and major topic in JavaScript. See, JavaScript by default it is synchronous. So first we have to understand what is synchronous. So synchronous operation and asynchronous operation, two types of operations are there. Okay, one is synchronous, one is asynchronous. So synchronous operation is that which perform, let's suppose you have 10 tasks. So you are performing one task at a time. You can't perform two tasks at a time. You can't perform three tasks at a time. So you are performing one task at a time. So see, first task you took, you are performing. So it takes 10 minutes. So another task again you took. So it takes 20 minutes. So altogether you are taking 30 minutes, right? Because first task will take 10 minutes. So till 10 minutes you are waiting for second task to take. Then till 10 minutes you completed first task. Now after 11th minute you are taking second task. Okay, so second task you are taking. So it's like a sequence order. So same way JavaScript also executes sequence order. Like see, if I'll write here multiple console, let's suppose I'll write here multiple console. Okay, hello world. This is the console. So if I write here hello world, I'll just write 1. Okay, and same thing I'm passing here and I'm writing here 2 and I'm writing here 3 and here similar to 4. So when I execute this file, okay, so see, it never happens like 4 will execute first, 3 will execute first or 2 will execute first. Always it happens, it will go from top to bottom approach. Means JavaScript by default it executes in synchronous manner. Means one task at a time, complete, then go to next, then go to next, then go to next. Means these all are we are talking as a task. So this console.log, first console.log, so that's why it's printing this first, then this, then this, then this. It won't print 2 first or 3 first or 4 first. It always prints this one number wala hello world first, then proceeding with this. So JavaScript by default is a synchronous operation it will do. So synchronous operation is nothing but you have two processes, like say process A and process B. So if process A is taking 10 seconds and process B is taking 30 seconds, and if you are taking process A, so only one person you are, right? So you can do only one task at a time. So process A you are taking, so 10 seconds you passed. After 10 seconds you jumped into process B, right? So process B. So till this many gaps, process 1 will wait, right? So see, this task is getting executed. After that, this task is started executed, but this task is executed means this got waiting period, right? So waiting for response. Then again, next task is executing, right? So every task is executing with some time. Okay, that is called synchronous manner. Okay, so let's take one more scenario. Like, see here scenario we are taking. Imagine you are at restaurant ordering food. So you went to restaurant and you are ordering one food. So that restaurant works as a synchronous. So if let's suppose that restaurant works as a synchronous, then how the implementation will be in the restaurant. So let's suppose. So see what you do. You place the order. So you went to counter and you told, okay, I want this burger, pizza, or something. You place that order. Okay. Now what happens? Now you are waiting for meal to prepare at the counter. So you are waiting, okay, it is getting prepared, it is getting prepared, it is getting prepared. You are keep on waiting, keep on waiting, keep on waiting, till that person is not taking other customer. It's only involved in for you. It's not involved for other. So it's not taking. It's like a queue. How we'll go to temple? Like we have to first come, first serve will be there, right? So in temple we'll stand in the queue. So first person will do puja, then second person will do puja, then third person will do puja. Not like at once five person can't do puja, right? So similar to that. So if it is that process is called synchronous process, right? So first place order, then you wait for the meal, but no other customer are served until your order is completed. Means here it's telling like first your food is getting prepared. Till that they are not taking other customer. Other customer has to wait in the queue. Okay. Then next, once your food is ready, then what happens? Other customers are allowed to go proceed, right? The restaurant staff handle only one order at a time. So at a time, only one order only they are handling, right? So this is one scenario. So this type of scenario is called synchronous scenario. So this you take example as a worshipping in the temple. So line queue you will stand. So you will go then till that other people has to wait back of you. So that is called synchronous scenario. So performing one task at a time is called synchronous operation. Okay, fine, understood. It's a sequence manner. So JavaScript by default it is synchronous because it executes line by line. It won't execute 4 lines at a time. It won't execute 2 lines at a time. It executes one line, second line, next line, next line. So it's like a top to bottom approach. Fine, understood what is synchronous operation basically? Any doubt in this? Okay. Okay. Now next we'll move to one more scenario is there. Okay, one more scenario is there. So one more scenario, what is there? See, you have one scenario called you have got some plumbing work to be done. Okay, plumbing work to be done in your home. Let's suppose some leakage happened, pipe leakage happened. Okay, hello, anything you want to tell? Yeah, this example I'll giving. I'm giving. This is only the example. Okay, I'm giving. Okay. See, so let's suppose this is another scenario of synchronous operation. Okay. So let's suppose in your home, in our home, some leakage happened, pipe leakage happened in your home, and you want to call to plumber, right? So plumber name is Ramu. So you want to call this plumber, and that plumber will fix that leakage in your home. That is the basically scenario, and you have to go at the same time. You have to go to office also. Okay, so plumber work also has to be done. Office also you have to go. So in that case, what is happening? See, so what is happening? So first solution what you can give in a synchronous operation, what you will do? You will call plumber. So Amar is calling plumber. So first step he'll do, he will call the plumber. So plumber. Okay. Now second step what happens? Amar plumber comes to house and start fixing. So plumber came and start fixing. Till he is fixing. So let's suppose plumber is taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Till that what you are doing? You have to go to office, but you are not going office. What you are doing? You are waiting for plumber to get work done. Okay. You are waiting plumber to get work done. Right. To get work done. See, so you are waiting for plumber to get work done. So once plumber has completed its job, then after waiting 20 minutes, you are going to office. Okay. So what happens? You are simply waiting 20 minutes, wasting your time while plumber is fixing the house leakage. Okay. Pipe leakage in your house. So it's like you are doing one task at a time. You just call plumber, you waited. Once plumber fixed, then you went for the office. Till that you are just waiting. You don't have any work. You are just ideal waiting simply. So this is called synchronous operation. Means you can do only one thing at a time. So your first thing was plumbing, making that house pipe leakage fix. So you did that. Then you went to office. Okay. This is the synchronous scenario of doing any task. Okay. So this is one scenario. Fine. This is one scenario. Now let's see. Now let's go for another way. So that is asynchronous. So synchronous you understood, like it's executing with one task won't get complete, other task will be keep on waiting. Okay, other person will be keep on waiting as I discussed. So same way now asynchronous. Asynchronous is basically, let's suppose, handling multiple things at a time. That is called asynchronous. And not interrupting others also. Means you are taking more orders. Like let's suppose if you want to take this scenario from asynchronous, this would be asynchronous. Okay, so same restaurant we are taking, right? So same restaurant. So you placed your order. After placing your order, you got some notification. Okay, your order is getting prepared. So what you do? You aram se sit, relax, you do some other work, other stuff you can do till that meal is getting prepared. Okay, so your food is getting prepared, you are doing here some other things. And in the meantime, what happens? Restaurant staff is taking some other order. Like see, now how we'll go to this Udupi or see Vishnu Grands and all. Like how they will serve. Like in counter we will order, right? So Aramse will come here, we'll sit on the table, we'll do our work, we'll chit chat with friends, we'll do some work. If you have laptop, if you have mobile, we'll keep on using mobile laptops or with friends, we'll talk, we'll do some other stuff till that order will be get on preparing. But in that time they want to stop, they will take some other order, right? So they will take some other. So all these things are involved, the people involved, right? So one person they are only taking order, one person they are preparing, right? So this is called asynchronous. So all are busy at a time. It's not like you are waiting till that order that counter people also are waiting. No, he can take other order. Okay, so meantime restaurant staff can continue with order, and same time meals also getting prepared. So for you meals getting prepared, then another customer comes, then his meals will be on the other person will take, or that person only will take. So based on that, so everything is getting work. No one is ideal here. Okay, no one is waiting, no one is sitting ideal here. You can also do your work by sitting if you have any work. Staff also can do their work, chef also can prepare, everyone are equally involved in the work. So that is called asynchronous. So asynchronous operation is anything executing, okay, in the background, okay. But here the one here advantage are in asynchronous, like everything is working at a time, right? No one is busy. So see, this client and server is there, right? So it's a making request. Till it's making request, server is taking time to process that request, do some operations and all. Till that time, client is doing some other work, right? So he's continuing work. Then once request has been completed, then he will get the request. Till that he is not waiting. Means it's not waiting for the client. He is doing some other operation. So this type of scenario is called as asynchronous. Like how you'll go to Vishnu Grand Udupi. So that there you will see the same scenario, right? Any doubt on async operation? Okay, so yes, it's like a opposite of that. Okay, so see, synchronous operation were always working on the foreground, right? It's always working on the top level because it's always on the front. Why front? Means till front won't complete, another front won't come. Till that can't complete, another won't come. But in asynchronous, what is happening? Everything is happening in the background. Like see, you make a request. Okay, client make a request to server. The server is running in the background because for client this is background only, right? Server is running, but till that time client is not waiting. If it waits, then it becomes synchronous. But it's not waiting, it's doing some other work, and in the background it's keep on doing process. And then so once this background work will be done, then what happens? Then client will get that data from the server. Okay, till that time client is doing some other work. Okay, fine, understood, this much understood. Background wala word understood. Why asynchronous is in background and why synchronous not in background? Because synchronous, there is, everyone has to wait there, right? Everyone has to wait there, right? But in asynchronous, there is no waiting time. There is no waiting time. Means you can do some other work and in the background it will be done, right? But here only the advantage of callback is there. Here only the advantage. Let's suppose now in the background something is happening and you are keep on doing your work, but someone has to tell you, no, like, okay, I have got the request from server, I have got the response from server. Someone has to tell you, right? Something has to happen. Otherwise, what you will do? You will throw that task to some person, and that person is doing, not doing, what is happening. No one is telling to you. Then how it will be? It's like how, like company having manager and employee, and employee is doing some work and manager don't have that idea. Like what employee is doing. So what happens? Like employee is doing his work. Then once work is completed, employee has to come and tell to manager, or some middle person should come and tell to manager, okay, that this employee has completed this work, right? So because employee is working in the background, but other scenario is what? Manager is telling you, okay, you work to employee, and he is sitting beside of the employee, seeing that employee is working or not. So once the employee work is completed, then he only taking a response from that employee and he is sending to the client. So that is one scenario. That is synchronous. And in this synchronous, what happens? Employee also doing work, but manager is keep on sitting ideal with him. But in second scenario, in asynchronous scenario, what happens? Manager just informed the employee, okay, you do something, you do this task, and manager is busy in some other things. Now once the employee completes his work, either employee is telling to manager or employee is telling some other person, or let's suppose manager is keeping one more person with the employee, like, okay, you be with the employee. Once employee will complete its task, then you inform me. Because it's a background process, right? Because background means manager is not having any aware of employee, what he's doing. So that it became background, right? So, and manager is continuing its work. So it's not blocking for manager and it's not blocking for employee, right? So that's why the background term comes in asynchronous. So the person who has to inform to the manager, that person is called callback. Okay, that implementation will be done by callback. Okay, so JavaScript, as we say, JavaScript is a synchronous operation by default, but we can implement asynchronous operation also using all these three things, using callback, using promise, using async await. So this type of scenario only callback, promise and async await will come into exist. Means keeping one middle person with the task so that he will inform. Okay, and all will be done in the background so that my work won't get interrupted. So let's check that same scenario. Okay, plumber wala scenario again. Okay, let's check same scenario, plumber scenario. So this is synchronous. So in this synchronous, what was happening? Amar was waiting 20 minutes to go to office. Now next what happened? Previously Amar was there, plumber was there, house was there, office was there. But now mom also came. Amar mom came. So mom is like a middle person. A callback, acts as a callback to Amar. So this time what is happening? Second solution, what is happening? Amar, here Amar. So Amar calls plumber, right? Amar calls plumber. At the same time, Amar informs mom about issue. Okay, so Amar has already called plumber, and Amar informed mom, okay, mom, plumber is coming. It will get fixed. The plumber will fix the leakage and then it will go. You just inform me once leakage is done, once fix is done. Either that plumber will not able to fix or plumber will able to fix. You inform me once it is done. Telling that much, Amar went to immediately to office. So Amar has given one work to plumber. Amar has kept mom to check to that plumber. So mom is like a middle person type. Okay. So mom is anyway in home. So Amar told, okay, mom, you check it. If it is done, then inform me. Then Amar didn't waste a time here, right? Because Amar went to office. Amar immediately went to office. So Amar at office. Now what happens? Now plumber came. Plumber comes to home and start fixing. So plumber started fixing. Plumber completes the fix. Then what happened? Plumber completes the fix. Then mom will get to know, okay, mom is in home because mom has assigned to the plumber. So mom will see, okay, plumber has fixed the leakage. So later what will happen? But Amar is still doing work in office. So he has completed half of his work or he's doing some other work. He's keep on continuing his work. But after some time, Amar gets a call from mom and mom says, okay, Amar, like plumber has fixed the leakage or plumber has not able to fix the leakage. Both scenario is there. If any one person is coming, either he can fix or either he can't fix. So fixing means success. If he is not able to fix means error. But both mom has to tell. Right, mom, let's suppose plumber didn't able to fix and mom didn't inform to Amar, then how Amar will schedule another plumber? Right. If you want to get informed, you are in office, you are thinking like, okay, I have assigned one plumber and he is fixing. And you told your mom, but your mom is not informing you about that fix. Then you don't know about that, right? So simply it will be waste for you. Let's suppose that plumber didn't able to fix and plumber went like that only and your mom also didn't inform you. Then again that work will be for another day. Again another day you have to again call the plumber, another plumber you have to fix. So that's what happens. Mom has to send either failure or either success to you. Okay, so these all terms you have to keep in mind while studying callback. Okay, so here mom what has to do? Either if it got failed also mom has to send notification to Amar. If it got pass also mom has to send notification to Amar. Right. So here see here Amar is not blocked here. Amar just called plumber. Amar just informed mom. Amar went to office. Amar is doing work and here plumber is doing his work. So for Amar it is like background. So Amar is not waiting for previously Amar was waiting here. Right. So this mom is called as callback to the Amar. Okay. Mom is called callback. So mom when she will activate, when she will call to Amar, she will not call in between the plumber working. Right. She will never call. Let's suppose plumber is fixing and mom is calling to Amar. Then what mom will tell? Mom will tell, okay, it's fixing. So that is not proper message, right? Mom has to tell either it got fixed or it got failed. Two messages only it has to tell. Not like in between processing it, she should not tell. Okay. So mom is callback. So mom act as a callback to the task. Our time not get wasted with this scenario. He continues to do other work meantime. Okay. So this type of scenario is called asynchronous. Okay. So how we can make JavaScript asynchronous means we have to make JavaScript asynchronous using all these scenarios. So using the three things, that is callback, promise and async await. So using these three we can perform the async operations. So that's why we'll call to perform async operation in JavaScript we need callback, promise and async await, because these are the things which help us to get notification back to us when something has got over in the background, when something has done implementation in the background. Till that it won't block. So it will be keep on executing other things. Understood? Understood, Pawan, what I am telling? Okay. So that is asynchronous operation. Okay. Now let's take the example of synchronous. Okay. Synchronous. So as a code wise. So you have one function called task1, you have one function called task2, you have one function called task3. So you are running task1, task2, task3. So task1 always run first because it is called first, right? So task1 complete. Task2 always runs after task1. So once task1 will complete, then only task2 will complete. Task2 will start execution. So that's why it's printing as task1, task2 and task3. Okay, synchronous. So till task1 won't get complete, task2 will not start. So it will be keep on waiting. Because here is a single person, right? Synchronous means a single person. And asynchronous means multiple people are involved. Okay, like that you have to think. Okay, middle persons are involved in asynchronous. So that one person should not get wait for other task to do. So next, come for asynchronous. So asynchronous, what happens? I am telling task 1 is fine, but task 2 I'm telling, okay, task 2 is taking lots of time to do. Right, task 2 is lots of time to do. But in while taking time for the task 2, task 3 is also there. So here what happens? First task 1 will get execute, then task 2 is taking 2 seconds. Till that time it won't wait. So directly it will come to task 3. So it will come task 3 completed. See, task 3 complete. Then after 2 seconds, task 2 will get printed. Because we are making wait for the task 2. Simply we have created some waiting time, right? If I'll directly, instead of set timeout, directly if I'll write console.log task2, then there is no waiting for task2. Then directly it will print task1, task2, task3, which has happened here, right? Nothing delay. But I wanted to create delay. I wanted to make task2, okay, you take some time. So till that time, it won't wait now. See, task1 is running, task2 is running in the background, but taking 2 seconds. Till that time, it won't wait. It will just go to next line. It won't wait. It just go to next line. So next line is this. So this is called asynchronous operation. So set timeout always performs asynchronous operations. Okay. So it will be keep on running in the background, but it won't stop further execution. So if we have written 1,000 lines again, more code and all here down, so first that will print and it will be keep on running in the background. So once it will execute, then this will execute, okay, task 2 complete. See, so what happens here? Task 1 completed, then till task 2 was taking some time, immediately that time only it went to next line and it printed, okay, task 3 is complete. So its task 3 is completed. Then after 2 seconds, task 2 is completed. After 2 seconds delay. So this type of operations or execution is called as asynchronous. Okay, asynchronous means we are not waiting for task 2 to complete, because task 2 is taking 2 seconds. So 2 seconds we are not waiting. We are going to next line. We are executing some other things. Okay, got it? So this is asynchronous. Now this is asynchronous. Okay. So next, so same. So all this scenario, what you saw callback, right? So callback is nothing but like your mom, how your mom was there. So she used to do callback, right? So same way, now here you see one fetch data is there, right? Fetch data. Fetch data means what? Fetch data means, let's suppose in the fetch data, let's suppose you are calling to server, you are asking server, give me this data, and then you are returning that data. That is implementation of fetch data, let's suppose. Okay, that's why I have kept this set timeout is nothing but it's like a equal to server, like it's creating some delay, because when we'll go to actual server, that will create a delay. Okay, so that is the reason it's equal to server. So I think it's done, it's equal to server. So that's why I'm creating set timeout to perform some delay. Means in delay we are thinking like it's a time taken by the server, but later this will, yeah, sorry. Hmm. Hmm. Go to next function. No, no, not a small, not a small. It will start from starting only, not a small. It will start. You see how you will call this function, like that only execute, right? So first you are calling task 1, it executes. Then you are calling task 2, but you are seeing task 2 is taking some time. So it won't wait because it's asynchronous. It won't wait. It will go to next. Then it will next, next, next. Then after 2 seconds, it will print that. So once it's completed, then only it will print. Till that time, it won't wait for other to execute. Okay, now see this scenario I'm showing you. See, I'm showing you this scenario. Okay, so let's suppose I am just calling one fun1. Okay, I'm just writing log task1, right? Same thing, I'm calling another one, another one, another one, right? Now see, another one I've called, okay, but all are having same, right? Only console.log. There is no delay. Okay, there is no delay, right? So I'm calling here function 2, function 3, function 4. So we have altogether 4 functions, right? We have altogether 4 functions. So if I'll call fun1 and if I'll print all 4, okay, print all 4, then what happens? It just execute the same way, right? So I'll just write okay, see task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, because I have printed, I'm calling here task 1, task 2. Let's suppose if I'm calling 3 first, okay, and then 4, and then 1, and then 2, right? So I'm calling 3, 4, 1, 2. So same way it will print because it's a synchronous operation. synchronous. So it will print as however we call. But let's suppose in function 2, I'm not calling immediate, I'm not printing this immediately. I'm just printing this with set timeout because I'm creating some delay. Okay, I'm creating some delay. So I'll just try timeout as 3 seconds. Okay, and I'll just keep inside this console. Okay, so function 1 is taking some time, right? So similar to that, function 4 also I will make it similar to that. Okay, similar to that, I'll just make function 4. I'll just change the task to function so that you'll understand properly. Okay, fine. So see here, which all function is taking lots of time? Function 1 is taking 3 seconds and function 4 is taking, let's suppose 5 seconds. Okay, and I am trying to call now 1, 2, 3, 4. Previously when I called 1, 2, 3, 4, it printed 1, 2, 3, 4. When I called 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, then it printed 3, 4, 1, 2. But now see, now 1 is taking 3 seconds, 2 is taking no seconds, 3 is also not taking any time, 4 is taking 5 seconds. Now I'm calling 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm calling 1 means it won't print because it's waiting for 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 3 seconds means it's waiting in the background. Then in that time what will happen? In between 3 seconds it will go to another function, function 2. So function 2 will print. So function 2. So first what will print? Function 2 will print. First function 1 will not print because function 1 is waiting till 3 seconds. So in that 3 seconds only it will go to function 3. Right? So it will go to function 3. So function 3. So it will print function 2, function 3. Then who knows? In 3 seconds got over, then it print function 1. Right? Who knows? Or it's waiting, then again directly function 4 came. So it will give different answers to me. Either it give function 1 first or function 4 first, or else function 4 first or function 1 next. Like that, because two are asynchronous. Right? So now see. Now once I'll execute, no, it won't give proper behavior. It won't give 1, 2, 3, 4, it won't give. It will give different scenario, different this one. See, 2, 3 is printing because that doesn't have any this one. Now 1, now 4. Right? So I think 1 is taking 3 seconds. No, that's why it's taking it's printing first. See, because this both having the delay. But if this both having the delay doesn't mean like function 2 is waiting to execute. Previously what was happening? Function 2 it won't execute till that time function 2 it won't go. But now what is happening? Function 1 is waiting. That's why it's going to function 2. Function 2 has no delay. It's printing. Then it's going to function 3. Function 3 has no delay. It's printing. Then till that time I think function 1 is getting off because 3 seconds already got over then. Then it's printing function 1. Right? Now it's printing function 1, then again it's going to next is function 4. So after 2 seconds more, it's going to function 4. Got it? Understood? So at once it's printing multiple operations. At once it's printing multiple operations. Okay, got it? So like that it is asynchronous and synchronous and asynchronous operations. So you have to understand very properly. If you understand these asynchronous and synchronous operations, no, then only you will understand callback. Okay, so you have to note it down in your notebook. Asynchronous operations always have some other person to inform because it works in the background. Something will be done in the background. That's why something should be there to inform. So the informer are this callback, informer are this promise, informer are this async await. These are the informer, which makes JavaScript asynchronous. Okay, so these are all the informer. Okay, so either you can create informer by callback or else promise or else async await. Okay, so all these things way you can make it asynchronous and synchronous. Okay, understood the callback? Now last we are going for callback. So till now we have understood. So what we have studied in callback? Callback we have studied like, okay, any function argument passed to another function is called callback function, right? So like see, so callback function why we pass, because callback why we pass means we that operations is working in the background. So all async operation will have callback operation, right? Callback functions, because something it's taking time means we have to attach callback to it. We have to attach callback to it. If it's not taking time, then why you need callback? Let's suppose you went to shop and you asked, you give money, you take things. Then you will take another person to take that. No, no. Immediately you are taking. But let's suppose you went to a restaurant and you are telling, okay, you take the order, then aramse you will sit. Then one waiter will be there. That person has assigned to that order, right? So that person will give you the food. Because here it required, that person is giving you the food. So whenever async operation will be there, some background things will work. So because of that background things, we are going for callback. So callback will execute only when the function will complete execution, when the main function will complete execution, then only callback will execute. Till that time, that callback will be waiting, because see, the waiter will be waiting, no, till the food will not get prepared, waiter will be waiting for that food. But you, as a, you are the main person, so you are the customer, you will be keep on doing some other work, right? You want to stop, you want to wait, you'll be keep on doing, you'll keep on doing some other work. Once the food is prepared, waiter itself they will call you, okay, come for food. See, in home also same thing happens, right? Your mom will be preparing food, till that time you'll be working. It's not like you'll be waiting, okay, mom has started preparing means I should sit and be with mom and sit and be, okay, wait for food. Okay, once food is prepared, then only I'll do some other things. Nothing like that, no. Because what you'll do? You'll be keep on doing your work, mom is keep on doing mom work. Once you'll prepare the food, then what will happen? If you want to get information, then you won't go for food. You will never go for dinner. So what will happen? Either your brother, sister, or your mom, or your father, dad will call you. Okay, Amar, come for the food. Food is prepared. So that mom, brother, sister, father is all a callback for you for that food. Okay, now see this. So same way, this callback, how I'm explaining. See, so first of all, you have to understand this is display data, one function, right? So this display data is just a displaying data. This function is just a displaying data. Whatever data it requires, it takes, it's displaying. Okay. Now fetch data. This fetch data, what it's doing, it's executing something, okay, after some time interval. So after 3 seconds, what is happening? So we are thinking like it's 3 seconds is taking time to talk to the server, like that we are thinking. Means in the thought we are thinking, because now it is set timeout, but later it will this code will get replaced with the server call, server connection, from client to server connection, building, sending requests, taking requests, or those it will get replaced. But now we don't have server with us, right? So that's why we are making set timeout, so that it will create some delay, because even we talking to server means creating delay. Main motto is to create delay. So instead of going to exactly talking to server for delay, we are making hardcore delay here. Correct, static delay. So 3 seconds delay means we are thinking like, okay, this is like some type of call to the server will happen later. Okay, now what happens? So this data has to pass. Now see. So here I want to show you some more things. One more thing I want to show you here. See, here see. So what happens? Here function 1 is there, right? Function 2 is there. So function 2 is data, right? So function 1, I'm passing function 2. So let's suppose in place of function 2, if I'll pass 34, then this will be 34, right? Generally what will happen? This will be 34. Like, see here, I'm trying to show you. Let's suppose I'm creating one function, right? Function 1, and I'm writing as a data, right? And then this, I'm just trying to console the data. Console the data. So whatever here I'm passing while calling, I'm passing here, let's suppose 34, right? So basically this data value is also 34, right? Data value is also 34, because we are passing 34 means data will take as a 34. Correct or not? This is fine. Data equal to 34, that already we know. Whatever we pass here by calling, that same it will take as a data. So same way here, whatever we are passing, so we are passing function 2 as an argument. So function 2 as an argument we are passing. So in place of this function entirely, it will get copy, means entirely this will get copy, and it will paste in place of disp. Okay, it will paste in place of disp. Understood? So disp is nothing but it's a function2 now. So now function2 name changed to disp. So function2 name changed to disp, but this function2 needs some data, right? Needs some data to execute. Without data, it won't execute. So what happens? So this disp is a live. Like let's suppose your name is Amar, but I'm giving your name as some like something like Amar A, Amar B, something like that. So I've changed your name, but your work is same, right? So same way, function2 is passing as a function1, but inside function1, I am collecting function2 name as a disp. I'm not taking name as a function2. I can take name as a function2 also, but I'm taking name as a disp, right? But this name is nothing but disp is nothing but function2 only, entire function2. Okay, because I'm passing function2 as argument. If I'll have one more function, and if I'm passing function3, then disp will become function3, right? So to call this disp, I need to pass, means to call this function2, I need to pass data. So same way I need to pass data to disp. Disp is nothing but function2, right? So same way like this, I'll show you here. See, let's suppose one function is there. Function, okay, function is there, that is uh, display data. Okay, display data, which takes data as an argument and which prints, let's suppose, which prints data. Okay, which prints data. So if you want to call this display data, then what you will do? Display data. Then what you will do? You'll pass some data, right? Like 23, 45, 56, something like that you will pass, right? 78. Means to execute this display data, you have to execute like this way, by calling bracket and then passing the argument, the data which is required, right? So like this, if you will call, then only this data will pass, right? And it will print here. So basically this data is nothing but it's a array right here. So to call this we need like this, right? So same way, if you have this function, let's suppose function fun1, okay, and this fun1 is taking display data as a argument, let's suppose. So directly name only I'm giving, not changing the name. Okay, display data only as a argument, means taking entire function as a argument. Now tell this data is nothing but this entire function, right? Entire function. So this data, if I want to call this data, how we called? Like this we called, right? Like this we called. So what we are doing here, we are passing like this. Fine. So it's calling the same data, right? But this same data, this data has to pass, right? Because this data need the data to call this, right? That's why we are calling. So let's suppose I'm here, I'm writing, instead of that, I'm writing here data, I'm creating here data, and I'm writing 56, 78, 79, 89, like that. And then this data I'm passing as a data. So this data is what? This data is this data only, no? This data. And this same entirely I'm passing. So either I'm writing here disp data, or else I'm writing here disp, and here disp. Both are same. This call, this is nothing but this only. It just completely came here and it just copied here like this. It's like it copied here like this. Okay, either this way we can call. Got it? Either this way we can call. We're calling this data and passing the data, and this data is this, and then calling function func1. Okay, func1 like that. This disp is not required now. Okay, something like that we are doing. Or else we are calling, moving out this. Okay, we are taking this only as an argument, and we are naming this one to other name, any name, something like that. That's why we have now, if you have to, disp is nothing but it's another name of display data. So I'm just passing disp data. So this needs data, that's why I'm passing this array. So it will print disp data. As simple as that. See, it's printing same. Because function1 will take disp data. So disp data. Okay, but function1 will disp data. Disp is nothing but disp data, right? Disp is nothing but disp data. Disp is nothing but disp. So disp is nothing but disp data. So now data is needs. So this we are passing data means it's like a, this is directly redirecting to here, and this is printing here. So this display data is nothing but callback function to function1. So this is callback function and this is main function. Okay, here function 1 is main and display data is callback. Okay, so this type of things are there, so that is called as callback. So callback will not use for this only, callback can be used for so many things, right? So next class we'll go for find and filter. So why this callback, now I taught you. Now based on this callback I'll go for this one. No, not all. I'll go for, remember last time we left with find, filter, reduce, all those things I left with, right? So we will go. So find, why I left with, because of some dependency was there for the callback. Okay, that is the reason I have gone for that one. So this I didn't taught you. Find, filter, map, and reduce, which is higher order functions. So this find, I will, once I'll tell you this find now. Now you will able to understand why I have written here callback. See, so what is the callback? What is the use of find? So tomorrow we will discuss on all this method first. Okay, because now you understand the callback means you understand all these things now. Got it? Any doubt you have in callback function? So you have to practice. Okay, slowly you have to practice. So first you have to understand synchronous, asynchronous, then you have to understand set timeout, then you have to understand what is callback function. That's why I used to tell you every time, like, study, practice this function argument, function parameter, what is passing, what is taking, what is printing, how the function is flowing. All those things, if you could not study, then you could not understand. Okay, got it? Okay, thank you, Amar. Okay, let's discuss tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, bye.